Most teenagers underestimate just how powerful one skill can be. They think money comes from luck, talent, or being born into the right family. It doesn't. Money comes from skills that solve problems, and the moment you understand that, your entire life changes. When you're young, the world sees you as inexperienced, but that's actually your advantage. You have the freedom to experiment, fail, and learn at a speed adults can't keep up with. Learning a skill that prints money is the closest thing to a superpower you can acquire before you're 20. The first mindset shift you need is this: your skill is your asset, not your age, not your school, not your GPA. The market doesn't care about any of that. It cares whether you can solve a problem better, faster, or cheaper than someone else. That's it. So when you decide to learn a high-income skill, you're literally giving yourself permission to become valuable, and value always gets paid. But here's where most teens screw up. They spend all their free time consuming instead of creating. They watch tutorials but never apply anything. They binge content from millionaires but never try to build something themselves. They research skills instead of choosing one and mastering it. If you want to make real money, you need to pick a skill and go all in, even if you suck at first. Every expert was a beginner who stayed consistent longer than everyone else. So what skills actually print money? It's the ones directly tied to revenue. Businesses don't pay for nice to have. They pay for growth, attention, leads, and sales. That's why skills like copywriting, sales, content creation, short-form editing, media buying, email marketing, and social media management dominate the online space. If you can do something that brings a business more customers, you become an asset, not an expense. And businesses don't think twice about paying assets. Take copywriting, for example. You learn how to write words that sell emails, ads, landing pages. At 16, you could be writing campaigns that make companies thousands of dollars. Or editing short-form videos, the single hottest skill in the world right now. Every business, influencer, and brand needs content. If you can take raw footage and turn it into thumb-stopping edits that go viral, you're valuable. Media buying is another beast. If you know how to run ads profitably, you're basically printing money for businesses, and when you print money for them, guess what? They'll print money for you. The beauty of these skills is that they require no degree, no permission, no startup capital. You need a phone, a laptop, Wi-Fi, and obsession. That's it. But obsession is the part most won't commit to. They'll practice for a week and quit. They'll compare themselves to experts and feel insecure. They'll wait for motivation instead of building discipline. The ones who win are the ones who show up daily, even when no one is watching, even when they're not getting results yet. And once you've developed your skill to the point where it's actually useful, the next step is simple: offer it to people. Offer it for free at first if you have to, not because your work isn't worth anything, but because you need experience. You need proof, you need testimonials. When you deliver results, you gain leverage, and when you have leverage, you raise your prices. That's how a teenager goes from charging $0 to $500 to $1000 to $5000 plus per month. That's how you go from being just a kid to someone businesses rely on. Learning a high-income skill isn't just about money, it's about identity. It forces you to grow, to focus, to think, to solve problems, to communicate. It builds confidence you won't get from school, grades, or social media. It teaches you that you can shape your own reality by improving yourself. And that's why teenagers who learn these skills early end up hitting 6 and 7 figures before their peers even start thinking about their future. Skills equal freedom, and the skill you choose today might be the very thing that buys your first million tomorrow. Most teenagers don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lack discipline. And it's not their fault entirely. The world is engineered to hijack your focus. Every app, every notification, every viral video is designed to steal your attention and keep you addicted. If you don't develop ruthless discipline, the modern world will eat your potential alive before you even realize what happened. That's why building discipline and eliminating distractions is the foundation of becoming someone capable of making $1 million. First truth you need to accept is this: you can't trust your feelings. If you only work when you feel motivated, you'll lose. Motivation is temporary, it's emotional, it's inconsistent. Discipline is the opposite, it's mechanical. It's a system you follow even when you don't want to. Successful people don't rely on inspiration, they rely on habits. They don't ask, "Do I feel like working?" They ask, "What's on the schedule?" That difference alone separates people who grow from people who stay stuck. Most teens today have attention spans so destroyed by dopamine that they can't focus for more than 10 minutes. And that's exactly why building discipline is now a superpower. If you can train your mind to do deep work for 1 hour straight, you're already ahead of 95% of your generation. Discipline isn't about being perfect, it's about being consistent. You don't need a military-grade routine. You need structure, you need boundaries, you need rules for yourself that you actually follow. The first step is eliminating distractions, not managing them, eliminating them. You need to stop pretending your phone isn't ruining your life. Every time you pick it up for a second, you lose momentum, and that momentum is everything. Turn off notifications, delete the apps that rot your brain. If TikTok is draining your energy, delete it. If Instagram Reels are killing your focus, delete them. If your phone keeps pulling you back into the matrix, put it in another room while you work. Your future is worth more than a dopamine hit. Then you replace those distractions with creation. Instead of consuming 4 hours of content, you create for 30 minutes. Instead of watching other people live their dreams, you build yours. When you shift from consumer to creator, discipline becomes a necessity, not a chore. You're no longer just trying to stay productive, you're building something real. Another key to discipline is crafting daily systems. Not wishlist routines, but practical, repeatable systems. Something like, wake up, hydrate, 30 minutes of deep work, a block of skill practice, a walk, another deep work session. When you anchor your day with predictable structures, you remove decision fatigue. The fewer decisions you make, the easier discipline becomes. You're no longer negotiating with yourself. You just execute. You also need to protect your environment. If your room is messy, your mind becomes messy. If your friends are lazy, your mindset becomes lazy. If your surroundings push you toward comfort, then comfort will win. Discipline thrives in a clean, organized, purposeful environment. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is cutting out the people and places that keep you small. And don't underestimate the power of boredom. When you eliminate distractions, you'll start to feel bored, and that's good. Boredom is where creativity, discipline, and clarity come from. Most teens avoid boredom because they're addicted to stimulation. But if you can sit with boredom, if you can choose work over dopamine, you become unstoppable. Being disciplined isn't about being strict, it's about being free. Because in the long run, distraction is slavery and discipline is liberation. When you control your focus, you control your outcomes. And when you control your outcomes, you control your life. If you want to make $1 million as a teenager, start with this: take back your attention. Build the discipline everyone else avoids. That's the foundation that turns potential into power. Leverage is the invisible force that turns effort into exponential results. Most teenagers think making money is about working harder, grinding longer, or hustling every hour of the day. That mindset keeps you stuck. You can't become a millionaire by trading time for money forever. You become a millionaire by building leverage, the kind that multiplies your output without multiplying your hours. And leverage comes from 3 things: systems, clients, and proof. Systems are the foundation. When you're first starting, everything is chaotic because you're doing tasks manually, guessing your process, and winging your workflow. But the moment you systemize your work, your business becomes predictable. A system is simply a repeatable process. It's how you onboard clients, how you deliver results, how you communicate, how you create content, how you manage your schedule. When you build systems, you eliminate randomness, you create consistency, and consistency is the difference between a freelancer who makes $500 a month and a teenager running a real business with real income. Once your systems exist, your time becomes far more valuable because you're no longer reinventing the wheel. You can plug in new clients without burning out. You can scale your output without scaling your stress. That's leverage, doing more with less friction. The second source of leverage is clients, not in the traditional sense of work for money, but because clients create momentum. Every client you get brings opportunities you can't predict: referrals, testimonials, case studies, experience, confidence, and better positioning in the market. Most teens think clients are hard to get. They're not. They're everywhere. Businesses are desperate for help with marketing, content, ads, editing, and growth. The only reason most young people don't land clients is because they don't ask, they wait. And waiting kills your future. Your first clients don't need to pay you big money. Sometimes they don't pay at all, but what they give you is more important: proof. Proof is the ultimate leverage. In the online world, people don't pay for potential, they pay for evidence. They want to see results. They want to see transformation. They want to see that you've taken someone else from point A to point B. Proof builds trust instantly. Proof makes you stand out. Proof allows you to raise your prices without getting resistance. When you have systems that keep your operations smooth, clients who fuel your growth, and proof that shows you're legit, you become unstoppable. You're no longer begging for opportunities, opportunities come to you. You're no longer chasing money, money follows you. You're no longer stuck trading hours, your leverage compounds automatically. That's how millionaires are made, not through luck, not through magic, but through leverage. The teenager who understands this early stops thinking small. They stop thinking like a worker and start thinking like a builder. And builders don't get paid for their time, they get paid for the power of their leverage.